Hey, welcome to KAFKUBA. It's been a while since I posted any videos, ever since the oil spill in my house and the cleanup there and the purchase of the new Jeep and a couple reviews there. I started getting into backpacking, ultralight backpacking, which I haven't made a video on. Just haven't been inspired with all that's going on and Christmas being so busy. But I also went on a rampage and got obsessed with Scotch whiskies. As you can see here, I've never had a bar in my house, but a little soul searching, a little desperation, and tough times, and next thing you know, you got another hobby. So let me talk a little bit about my whiskey collection. I started on this side. I have what I would call the Highlands whiskeys, or at least not the Islay whiskeys. I got some Balvenie and I got a Macallan 12 here, which is really popular. I played around with this sample pack from the Glenmorangie and polished off this smaller sample Glenlivet. On this side is really what I want to focus on right now. I kind of like the Islay whiskeys, which are more smoky and peatish. I started off with the Ardbeg because I had never had it. I don't have any Lagavulin 16 here. I got a Talisker here, which I had was interested in the reviews, a spicier, smoky peat kind of Scotch. My favorite, and it has long been my favorite in the smoky, peaty Scotch whiskey area, is Laphroaig. This is a Laphroaig 10. There's variants of this. There's quarter cask. There's older Laphroaigs that are aged for a longer period of time. But really, what I wanted to kind of talk about is, my ability to, I watch a lot of videos, I read a lot of the reviews, and I struggle with nosing and tasting. And I always thought I had a really good nose. But, you hear like, oh, it's smoky, it's fruity, it's dark fruit, it's apples, pears, and honey, or and they give you all these kind of nosing reviews and what to expect, and then you have the taste, and it's spicy, a strong finish or a mild finish, same kind of thing. But I always thought I had a really good nose, and while I pick up on the variations and the differences, I guess maybe it's a personal thing. I do always taste the oaks. With a lot of these whiskeys, I get kind of a library church flavor, like. I don't know if that's the oak coming through or the smokiness, but you get that antique kind of flavor, even with wines. But let me try this Laphroaig for you. It's one of my favorites. I love it. I gotta get more of these. I gotta cover my bar with the Islay whiskeys. I also bought a plot of land in at the distillery. You can read all the labels you want to online and get all the reviews you want, but kind of want to share my nosing experience. Now, when I first tried Laphroaig over a decade ago, the one thing I noticed is it had this medicinal. I don't know if when you were a kid you ever had chloroseptic throat lozenges. They kind of numbed your throat for about 10 seconds, and then it went away, and you were back to having a sore throat. That was even before COVID, if you can believe that. It had that chloroseptic flavor of those lozenges. And it turns out, after doing a little research, that both the chloroseptic lozenges and the whiskeys have what they call phenols or phenols. I don't know, some molecule. I don't know what it really does. I don't care to research it that much. But because of the phenols, you get that flavor. It's a little early for whiskey tasting, but I have some quiet time, so I decided to make a little video. One problem I have with pouring scotches is you always get a dribble down the edge. You can kind of just twist it and kind of keep it touched to the glass as you pour it, and sometimes that helps. Or you just lick the bottle like a slumlord to get you don't want to waste any of it. But apparently there's an invention for a bottle that has a special lip on it that they've come up with, but none of these whiskeys have that. So swirled around. Maybe because my nose is so good, I've stopped burying my nose in the glass because it's like almost makes it too sensitive. You get your nose way down in there, and it's kind of like all you smell is the alcohol, and your nose is burning. So I kind of approach it from a distance. I find that helps. Definitely getting that traditional Islay peat smoky flavor, smell nose. Now they'll tell you some reviewers will nose this and they smell the seaweed or they smell the ocean. I mean that's a stretch. There's a medicinal smell. I do get a little bit of that chloroseptic phenol kind of odor. Yeah, it's coming back now that it's like hearing. Have you ever laid in bed and listened, and then first you hear a car go by, then you kind of settle down, and then you listen some more. You hear the heat come on, you hear the cars go by, then you hear the birds chirping, and then you realize there's a lot more sounds going on. It's kind of like being a radio on the antenna. The antenna is receiving all those signals, but the receiver is only like tuned into one station. Well, it's kind of like nosing. Even if you hear like somebody walking, first you hear the footsteps, but then you realize there's layers there. There's the creaking of the floor and the squeaking of the heels or the bending of the shoe. So you got to open your mind like you open your hearing when you're nosing to get those layers and those variations. Now that my nose is kind of accustomed, I bury it a little deeper. Yeah. With the Laphroaig, I don't get any fruits, or honeys. It's very peaty. So let me taste this for you. So there's the medicinal peaty flavor at first, but it's very mild. There's no burn to this whiskey. And it settles out real quickly. There's no long afterburn or aftertaste. You do get that a little bit of the remembrance of salt, they'll tell you. The remembrance of salt. Well, there's no salt in it, and you don't even remember it, but that's what they say. It gives you that vibe of salt. And I find if you just set this aside for a few minutes and you're just kind of relaxing in front of the fire, and then you come back to it, you'll be a little more sensitive and a little more fine-tuned to the differences, so long as you're not chowing on salami at the same time, because that'll really ruin your palate. So you come back and smell it, and you do it all over again, and you kind of get a little more. See, I almost got a suitcase, and the remembrance of suitcase going on there. Oh, but this is one of my favorites. Yeah, it kind of has that flavor of your dad's old suitcase, not like disgusting, like dirty underwear, but like that antique kind of getting ready to go on vacation after a year of it being packed away smell. That's the remembrance I'm getting. All good stuff, all good times, all good memories. So, yeah, I'm not going to go through and make a million videos on all the different whiskeys and taste them every night. I'm not a whiskey channel. I kind of just wanted to have one more obsession, one more experience to share with my fans on KAFKUBA. And with the ultralight backpacking, that's coming next, and that's going to be the same kind of thing. Just whittled everything down to the essentials in life. Focus on the things that really make your experience, no matter what you're doing. Just you don't have to be a superstar at one thing your whole life and be a professional and then miss out on everything else. You got to do everything. You got to be a Renaissance man, and I'm not trying to blow my own horn here. I'm not saying I'm a Renaissance man, but that's my approach to life. I just get bored with things and then move on to the next. Got to experience it all before I'm dead. So thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe, and hey, let's make this world a better place. See you.